Oh ho ho! Panda, wake up! Hey Panda, sorry to wake you, but I'm gonna be real. I couldn't get any sleep. Can I sleep with you?
So you're just here now, I guess?
Nothing better to do.
Screw it. Alright, you can sleep with me, but I need you up for a couple hours. Good night, big man.
No goodnight kiss?
I thought you couldn't stand me. What was that?
I don't know.
Sound like someone said key,
Weird thing to chant for sure.
It's a bit weird, right?
I say we ignore it.
Ignore it? It's a great idea.
What?
My loyal fans! Hey, hey!
任務を遂行する。終わりだ。
Today we are going to our first extremely violent fighting game that completely changed the rating system of games. The grappler in the game is horror themed and one of my absolute favourites, so I'm looking forward to today's video. What's up bells, Patriarch Panda here, and as you can see it is freezing, so I gotta keep me and my chud son warm.
This is cozy.
I bet it is. As we know, we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers to cover a fun version of Zangief. So if you want to help me out, be sure to like and subscribe. That in the membership system, but you don't got it. That's appreciated though. And I just want to say thanks for the love on the previous vid. I had a ton of fun doing both Potemkin and G.R.A.B. G.R.A.B. was very fun. I say, just an absolute killer grappler. But in today's video, he's certainly killer for sure. Let's get into what a grappler wants. Nay cheek for once?
Nah, I'm vibing.
Alright then.
Yes, dude!
A grappler is a character that tends to lack good neutral or has a gimmicky neutral. But the one thing that makes up for this weakness is that their strength is killer. Once they're in, they can threaten, they strike throw, going for either hit or throw, both of them dealing a ton of damage. So once they're in, they are in. I think it's time to talk about a fighting game that shaped the industry. It is personally one of my favorites. Test your might. Mortal Kombat X.
Flawless victory. Your destiny. Flawless victory.
Mortal Kombat X is one of the best in the franchise and where the series definitely peaked. 11 was enjoyable but meh, and the less said about 1 and cameos, the better.
And the fact that I'm eyeing up a full Madam Bow. Here comes the mix. Here it comes. This is the setup. Disgusting! How do you even get out of that?
MKX had a fantastic roster with old comers and plenty of new faces. It had godly guest characters like the guy we're covering, Predator, Leatherface, and Alien. The roster was godly and it had so much flavor to it. This game still holds up visually as well. In terms of gameplay, Mortal Kombat X is a pretty standard 2D fighting game, except everyone's on crack. You have a basic round system and 4 attack buttons. The game uses strings and special moves. You had to love what you could cancel into what. There's a meter system at the bottom that allows for your enhanced specials with 1, and with 2 you get to break out of combos, and with 3 you get to demonetize this video. For real though, it did give you a cinematic super dealing a lot of damage. This was usually ignored due to you want to hold on to the meter to either break out a combo or enhance a godlike special move. There was an interaction meter that would use 1 whenever you backdash. You get to interact with the stage using it, like it jumps or just throwing this old woman So messed up. I want to focus on one aspect about this fighting game and why it was so loved by casuals and pros alike. When you pick a character, there are 3 different variants to pick from. These variants can turn Liu Kang from his usual Shoto style Dragon Fire to a zoner with Duelist, or even a Rushdown with Flame Fist. This was the main thing about Mortal Kombat X that made it stand out. It added so much flavour to the game. We had peeps known for playing certain variants of each character. These variants were cool as they could give a standard style for a character you played, or could give you a gimmicky style that you had to heavily experiment with. And it could completely change the character's archetype as well. Maybe a brawler to a grappler, maybe a zoner to set play. It was very cool. Hey lads, Ed and Panda, and I can't believe to mention one aspect about this game that is extremely well known and the main reason why people love playing it. And that was the fatalities. This was a great way to disrespect on someone that you bet. Make them watch a long ass cutscene that is just absolutely brutal. Of course, I'm not going to show a lot of them in this video because, I mean, you know. Alright, I said it in Panda. Now that we are done talking about the game, it's time to explore today's menace. The Camp Slasher. The Crystal Lake Killer. Jason Voorhees.
Do not impress. Finish him.
Jason Voorhees, the horror slasher icon, arrived to MKX in May of 2015. I was an awkward 16-year-old back then, and now I'm very comfortable in my skin. It's insane how your mental could change with time. Honestly, if you don't like where you are right now, give it a bit of time. This is for those who need it. Jason arrived and I immediately fell in love with the horror-styled character. His variations are worth knowing as they focused on different aspects of him in the movies. Relentless, focusing on his aggression. Unstoppable, focused on how unkillable he was, and the last one, Slasher, paid attention to his blade. For this vid, we'll be ignoring Slasher as it wasn't a grappler playstyle. Even though it was considered one of his main playstyles, it just isn't worth covering as the Soul Bad Guy's cool and all, he's not a grappler, you know? However, his other 2 variations made him a scary grappler worth fighting. Before we get into that, we do need to talk about his story. In the world of Friday the 13th, Jason was originally just a child, but his life was difficult. He was bullied and beaten because of his deformities. Jason almost drowned to death on the campsite due to neglectful counselors that couldn't care about him. His mother sought out revenge, but was actually killed by the camp counselor. Jason managed to barely live, witnessing his mother's death. Fueled by rage, he took out on the campsite going on a killing spree. However, neat thing, in the original story, it was originally his mother that actually went on the killing spree, and not Jason. Jason actually died in the original story of Friday the 13th. I think it was scarier have the hockey mask and all that, but the fact that someone was dead and brought back to life, yeah, that's the scarier aspect. But I do like the mother doing it, because I do believe that makes the story a bit more grounded. So, it was up to you. Do you like the retcon or do you not? Now that you know the man, we have to talk about how we're going to do this video in a bit. Usually there's the positive and negatives that are completely worth going over. But every variation had their own positive and negatives, so this will be a very complicated video to cover. The variations were actually just 2 different characters is the best way to put it. You know what? For this video, I will lump them together in both in positive and negatives. But I'll try to have a tag up to talk about the specific stances. That way you guys don't get confused. But this is the nature, right? It was like you had 3 characters to select from. It was cool as hell. But first thing to get rid of are those pesky negatives. One weakness he had... That's one for the blooper reel. One weakness he had with the 2 variants was the size of him. He's a big fella, so it was pretty easy to hit him with projectiles in neutral. Because he was big, it was easy to get combos and mix-up setups as well on him. You could duck highs like everyone else, but he wasn't the most evasive on his normals. Both his variation had setup issues. For Relentless, if you wanted the max potential out of it, you need to eat low health and time to set up debuff and buffing tools. For Unstoppable, he needed time to set up multiple buffing tools. He also needed meter and low health to cash out on what made this variation sick. We'll get into what made these variations cool in just a moment, bear with me. Finally, he was genuinely unsafe on a lot of attacks. You had to place attacks well, and if that didn't happen, you were punished hard. Time to get into his positives. Go over the general positives that are shared first, and then the unique ones. He was a very damaging character. His simple combos could deal 36%, never mind when you get good at this game. He was also a very simple set play grappler. You just use your tools and then threaten strike throw over and over again. His normals were quite decent on the aggressive side, advancing with some solid mix-ups all around. Killing Blow was good as an aggressive overhead, that was safe. Stalker was also a decent low string into launcher, allowing for some good damage. There had some safe mix-ups to go between for a launcher or knockdown. Overheads tend to be knockdowns and lows tend to be launchers for Jason. His command grab in both variations do solid damage and give OK. Enhancing them can deal up to 20%, making a great tool to throw out with your low and overhead mixes. His bending meter can also make them have armor and tank for mash outs. Yippee! There's a ton of armor on this guy. I think he genuinely puts Potemkin to shame. I'm not even joking.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Bro, he's got so much more than you. It's not even a bit. He also had this punch called Tempo Punch to make him run full screen to hit you with one of these. Unenhanced and give him armor on the travel and more damage. Time to talk about the variations. Jason had a tool called Killing Machine, which was available in Slasher and Relentless. This tool when popped gave Jason super armor for 7 seconds. He can't jump, but it just lets him walk forward and not give a damn about anything hurled at him. It was a godly tool but left Jason punishable after the use. I like this sense though, because it isn't a move with armor. It was a move that allowed for armor. You can just walk forward with it. Imagine Pot had something like that. He'd be a genuine menace. Besides that, it sells the horror feel to a great degree. Main reason why it's called Relentless. Unstoppable got something very different though. Got 2 buffs to activate. He got Punishment, which gave him a 33% increase in damage on everything. He also broke armor to stop sloppy defenders. The other was Rise. This healed Jason over time and gave him meter. The variation buffs made him basically unkillable. He also got one of my absolute favourite mechanics, Resurrection. Being brought back from the dead, Jason would use up all your meter to come back with whatever health he could get. This gave you one more fighting opportunity and win. I love this. The unkillable man lives his reputation through this passive. Relentless also got something else that made it stand out. You got a debuff mode that was super unique and I don't think that's ever been done. He will snap at his neck to make the screen red. The opponent's controls will be flipped and they can't run or dash. This is insane to have in a grappler because he got another special move that paired insanely well with this variant. Lake Mist gave him something that you should never give a grappler. He can chase you with teleports, meaning you're never out of reach. If he enhanced it, you got armored and recovered extremely quickly. So if you threw a projectile did something silly when your controls were messed up, he was on you. Finally, Relentless also got something that made it even more of a threat. His passive Damned gave him a damage boost if his health was low, going from 50 to 20 and below 10%. If he got that low and hit you, you basically won. Relentless giving armor and stuff, a button flip debuff, and high damage, you couldn't relax versus this variant. I think these variants really live up to the name, Unstoppable making him an unkillable machine that allows him to approach and come back from the dead and have all this funky setups that does a ton of damage or heals over time. And Relentless allowed for a ton of approach options with 50-50s and flipping the opponent's controls like a damn horror movie leading to panic. I love how we got 2 gimmicky grapplers on the same character, and I want to thank INRS for this. Genuinely, they did a fantastic job with 2 variations of a set play grappler. Can you believe that? They did 2 variations. One that debuffed and just moved them like a madman, and the other one was basically unkillable and did what you want. His tier placements were interesting because usually a character is put in a certain tier and that's it. However, because of variations, it meant that you had 3 different characters to place on the tier list. Relentless was considered one of his best variants for sure, allowed for a ton of aggression, armor setups, and the damage was ridiculous at low health, allowing for a good comeback. Slasher was his second best as a consistent style that gave good high-low strings and did a lot of damage, but it didn't really give you any strike throw mix-ups or any form of neutral gimmicks, just kind of a solid character. I would compare him to Saul Bad Guy, like in that type of regard. That meant Unstoppable was actually in the low to bottom tier. People didn't consider Unstoppable that good, but there was one player that really wanted to make it shine. And you gotta give respect to this player because it's one of the GOATs. That being said, who were the GOATs that played with these styles?
The mistake, but luckily gets hit now with much luck getting out. But here comes Sonic Fox. Oh, Sonic, I was wrong about that. And wow. Back up to one. He's here. He's here at the end. Get back up with a little bit of base out of the he has. Oh, he's trying desperately. Oh, so much damage. Oh, he's delayed right now. Oh, much luck other direction. And that's going to be punished. Jason is not going to be able to make it. This might be a kill. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Sonic Fox and C. Klein, I hope I'm saying that right, did fantastically with Jason, both using Relentless and Unstoppable. You wouldn't see Sonic Fox pop the Jason, but whenever they did it, it was a fantastic play, genuinely. Unstoppable looked, well, unstoppable. C. Klein mostly played Kotal Kahn, but in the times he did play Jason, it was main man Relentless. And I think this is what made Jason so cool. You had two top level players, two different variants that played completely differently, and they fought each other as well. Like, you couldn't... This game's awesome. It reminds me of like CVS2 where there's so much variation. Jason was such a cool set play grappler. Reminded me of Solomon Grundy, but a lot more simpler for sure. And then flipping the controls is just a fantastic touch. Fellas, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Try and hit 5,000 subscribers to cover Zangief. And again, I love doing these videos for you guys. Genuinely care. You guys really enjoy these videos. And it means a ton to me. It really does. Be sure to check out the membership system. Say hi to Terror and Pin if you will. And that'll be me, Patriarch Panda, signing off. Be sure to tell me your favorite grapplers. Be sure to check out the Grappler Church. And I'll catch you to the next one. See ya. Oh.